What up, guys and girls? Another brand new video coming at you today. Yes, we are back again for another round of AOR Oceania F1 for season number 4. We're here, as you can see on screen, for the penultimate round, actually, of season number 4 here for round number 9 here at the Japanese Grand Prix. And funnily enough, obviously, being at the Japanese Grand Prix, it is Honda's home circuit, so being in a Honda power car is an added bonus. 36 points between VFens and HO going into this round of the championship. We're currently positioned 10. You can check out where your favourite driver is at the current moment on your screens. The Drivers' Championship. Ferrari have a good lead over Sauber in the Constructors' Championship ahead of Force India. Mercedes and Haas look like they're going to have a fair battle for the remaining few rounds. Toro Rosso are still in position number 7. So obviously, there's a few things that could possibly happen this weekend. Obviously, the championships are on the line here around here in Japan. Obviously, fans, like I said, have 36-point margin. I believe it is a 36-point margin. If I'm wrong, I sincerely apologise, but that's just what I'm going by on my screen anyway. But yeah, championship could be wrapped up this weekend. Obviously, it wasn't quite fully wrapped up a couple of weeks ago, actually, back in Italy. But we're sticking a ball there on this lap. This lap was actually a pretty scruffy lap, not going to lie. It was not one of my best ones anyway, but we'll carry on. So, yeah, as long as Fens keeps ahead of HO by 25 points going into the final round in Brazil, then the championship's pretty much all wrapped up and done and dusted. It's pretty much been a full man throughout this whole season, number 4 of AOR Oceania. But also Constructors, I think, is also up for grabs this weekend with Ferrari having got a commanding lead at the moment. Can't remember off the top of my head what the points gap needs to be for those guys to wrap it up this weekend. But I mean, fair play to the Ferrari boys, like throughout the whole season, including DRC Jared, of course, who's no longer racing, obviously, because he was blacklisted from earlier in the season. I'm not going to disclaim as to what occurred back then, but anyway, obviously, then continuing on with Alan Hugo and New Zealand Ryan, who've done a pretty decent job. But you saw then, we went to the top of the timesheets at the current moment on the super soft tyres. Now, obviously, going into this round, felt like maybe it was a possible opportunity, but maybe here and Brazil, that maybe might be my only shots, maybe to get a pole position to end the season off in style here. As you can, usually Japan, I've probably mentioned it back in the SRL video as well, usually Japan, you want to be starting on the much harder tyres, so I think a lot of guys will be starting on the softer rubber.
Our best lap so far is a 1 minute 28.0.
So I think we've got a bit of a gap just ahead of New Zealand Ryan at the current moment there. Might actually be a little bit closer than I expected there. But again, the lap was very scruffy anyway, so but anyway, we'll carry on here. But lap number 2 here went back out on a set of soft tyres actually to just sort of have a bit of a backup plan just in case the last super soft run was not going to work out. So anyway, going down through turns 1 and 2 here as LCR Fens actually goes to the top here. I should point out as well that Fens actually changed his gamer tag for this weekend. He's obviously running it with the esports team that he's with. Obviously himself with VSR, and of course he's with LCR. So
DRS is offline. The rear wing is down, so you can stay out while we work on a fix.
Now, I mean, at that point in time, I mean, it didn't really affect me too much. I mean, the DRS sort of failed, I think, through the S-curves there. So we got a bit of DRS. There's only like one DRS straight anyway on that front straight. There's pretty much nowhere else you can get the DRS. I probably wish there was maybe another spot that could do the DRS zone. Maybe going into like from out of the spoon curves here and going down into 130R. But yeah, it's a much better run this time around compared to the first run anyway. So we're well and truly improving on our lap times here. Obviously, Fens set his lap time on the medium tyres, but we're going against purple through sector 2 here, now through 130R and into the Casio triangle here. And, get these curves relatively okay, but take the shortest run. Well, actually, I continued on actually for another lap just to make sure, because usually the second run on the soft tyres usually is a hell of a lot better. But obviously, I'd actually thought that the team would actually fix the DRS a lot quicker than maybe I was anticipating. So yeah, I mean, the straight line speed was just not there, really, and he threw the S section there. I ran a little bit wide through there, and yeah, I mean, I was probably going to abort the lap anyway, but yeah, it just went a little bit pear-shaped from then on in as we just let our fellow VSR driver in VSR Chicane, who's back for this weekend. Of course, you remember
We've only got 2 laps of fuel left.
Race back at Bahrain, I think it was, actually. But obviously back under a different account, but he's back under the VSR banner that says Kai was...
With the rear wing system. Stay out, we can work on a fix remotely.
As you've seen, Kai was actually crashed out by the looks of it going through that, out of that final corner there. I would assume maybe it have to do something to do with the bump and then go straight into the tyre barrier, but I'm not entirely sure there. But anyway, yeah, but obviously, like I mentioned before, it is Honda's home circuit as well here in Japan. So I mean, Toro Rosso really wanted, I really wanted to have a great result for around here in Japan to send the Japanese fans crazy, pretty much. And I did a little bit of, excuse me a second, we'll just get an update.
Our best lap so far is a 1:27.8.
I gave a few sort of setup ideas to my teammate PlinioMonteiro, of course, having a bit of an up and down season throughout this year. So he shows a fairly decent speed coming through the fields, obviously. But I just thought for this round and maybe the last round, I thought maybe he'd give him a little bit of a hand with setup wise. So I said to him if he wanted to like borrow my time trial setup from Time Trial, and you go for your life there really, because there's only like 2 rounds to go and pretty much only a couple of rounds left in this season, especially in this game, especially before the new one comes out a hell of a lot earlier than I think people were anticipating. But we just let a few of the faster guys through there. I think
just 30
Perez
seconds left in the session.
was one of them. I can't remember who the other one was. I think it was one of the Salvers. But thankfully we do get DRS back on this third and final run here on the which we're actually going to qualify hopefully on the set of super soft tyres. And you can see through the Delta tyre we're looking all right at the current moment here as we try to fly through the S's. Obviously they're going through turn 3 there. That was what caught me out big time there in SRL, so I was a little bit more cautious this time around compared to SRL. But going through the Dunlop curb, we just get the curb there and it spins us out and into the gravel trap we go. And well, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the lap time done and dusted here. There's not enough time. Well, pretty much the time is pretty much expired there. So yeah, that's it for pretty much for our qualifying session. So we're going to be starting on the softer rubber. Hope, maybe, we never know. But just let New Zealand Ryan go through there. I think there was a Haas off the road there. I think there might have been rain actually, as there's LCR fence. I wasn't sure whether it was actually on a fly or not, but just decided to stay well away from all the fast guys there at the moment. That was Master Berserk as well. So making sure it's well and truly clear of everybody, then just obviously retired the karts pretty much. So yeah, it was pretty much just a waiting game here at the moment, because I'm currently in position 9 at the moment. I knew there was a few guys, so obviously at this stage I thought there was a few guys that's still on fast lap times as fans obviously across the lines. And New Zealand Ryan actually jumped up into position 3, and I was hoping someone actually knocked me out of the top 10, and thankfully Master Berserk just did that. He's just got himself inside the 10. So I was pretty much only celebrating at the time, as just like thanking Berserk, just like knocking me out of the top 10. Because the bonus of that is we get to obviously not ideal starting way down the field, but does give us an opportunity to get on a fresh set of tyres for the start of the race. But Alan Hugo does get pole position with a 1:26.801, just ahead of LCR Fens, who's ahead of his nearest championship rival, HO there in 4th. Obviously myself in P11, and my teammate obviously will start also on a fresh set of rubber in position 13, and Kai was bringing up the rear of the field. But it's time to go racing here for the Japanese Grand Prix.
The whole team are rooting for you. Show them what you can do.
That's the plan, Jeff. Welcome to the grid, as I said, for the penultimate round, the Japanese Grand Prix. Obviously starting out in P11, so obviously we'll have a free choice of tyres for this for a fresh set of tyres and a free choice as well. So obviously under overcast skies, obviously toying a little bit with the strategy-wise. We're going to start actually on the medium tyres and then transition onto the soft rubber, but I did leave the option open just a little bit, just in case for a set of super soft tyres. But I think the main goal is to go from mediums onto soft tyres as we set off for the formation lap.
Okay, our system checks are good. We need to stay in formation and start bringing the car up to temperature, please. Get some load into the tyres and work the brakes. We want them nice and warm by the end of the lap.
Thank you, Jeff. So anyway, it's going to be definitely a long race. We should have a bit of a pace advantage a bit later on, but this is a weather update.
No, rain for the time being. Conditions looking good.
It's, like I said in most other videos, you never know with this weather system on Codemasters games, because you might say that and it might say overcast, but it could literally change in an instant pretty much. So and obviously there was a bit of wet weather the last time out in Italy, but of course this was obviously, like I mentioned, the first round after the week break that AOR had. So
keep an eye on the lights. The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid is...
So hopefully we want to finish off the season on a bit of a high. So here we go. We're all set for round number 9 here, the Japanese Grand Prix 5. Red lights. Let's do it around Suzuka, and we got a bit of a lag start, I felt there, because everybody else jumped well and truly before me. So I've pretty much gone nowhere off the line, and we've obviously lost already a couple of spots as Matt gets a little bit wide going through the first couple of corners there, as he's under a bit of attack from R8 there, who's back for this week. He goes right around the outside, actually does R8 and gets the move done. So nice job from R8, but not the ideal start for myself here. Going all the way back to position 14, lost 3 spots pretty much. So but anyway, it was still a long race to go, so not counting my chickens at this stage. So just obviously going to play it patiently here. If there's any moves available, well, then we'll be ready to pounce whenever that may be. And one move might be up here into the hairpin here into turn 6. No, turn 11, I should say. Let's have a little look on the inside of it. Is that map, but not quite close enough there. Actually lose the rear end with getting on the power a little bit too early there. But obviously Matt and R8 battling away here, going up into the spoon curve here. I don't think he can try around the outside there, but R8 just gets around the inside there, but has to go a little bit wide. Maybe a little bit cheeky there, but does mean we get a good run going down the back straight here, going into 130. Obviously Matt covers straight away here. And hopefully we might try and go around the outside here in the 130. Not really quite close up there. Conrod's not far behind as well. He started on a fresh set of super soft tyres. Probably maybe the wrong move to do there for Conrod, but hey-ho, it is Conrod. He's willing to try anything, is the legendary Steve Bingham. But anyway, lap 1 completed. We're still trying to push to hang on to the back here of Is That Matt. Trying down into turn 1, but not quite close enough here. So just go, like I said, play patient game. It's only lap 2 here, so long race. Still about 25 laps to go, or 24 now as we start to begin lap 3, because not much really happened on my point of view. As you can see, just a bit in the foreground there, as Matt looks like he's putting a bit of pressure on R8 going down to turn 1, as R8 just runs a little bit wide going through the first couple of corners there, but just managing to hold on for the time being. And I was sort of keeping an eye, obviously, on this battle ahead, but obviously don't want to really drop too far behind from well, the faster guys anyway, a bit further up the road here on the softer rubber, because they're really starting to pull away here. Has been trying to get a decent run out of the Dunlop curve there, but not really close enough there, and just have to bide our time for the time being. But coming towards the end of lap number 3 now through 130 hours. Again, Matt's putting a lot of pressure here on R8, as it looks like I think somebody actually may have cut that chicane there. It was one of the Haas's. I think it may have been Rain. I'm not 100% sure, but he looks like he's had a bit of a moment there. But anyway, on to lap 4, Matt going right down the inside, lying into turn 1, and he just gets the move done and manages to pull it off, and R8 has to settle back into position 13. So now's probably a good opportunity to maybe try and catch up to these guys. And I think at this point in time, the battle packs were starting to pull away. You could easily tell where some of the lead pack group is, and even the guys a bit further on as Matt gets a little bit sideways coming out of the spoon curve there. Not the greatest of runs. which obviously gets R8 through there, but we got a great run there on this back straight here. We're going to see if we can get the move done at 130 yards. It's not really a passing spot going 2x2 through here, but somehow I think we've just managed to do it. We just sneak ahead for the tie V, but Matt will come back here on the inside. So there's a little bit of contact there. I was trying to do the over and under there on Matt, but didn't really quite work out for the time being. But anyway, we jump on the lap 5. Was hoping to try and get a run down here into turn 1, but obviously R8's pulled away, and Matt's also got the DRS, so not really quite close enough at this stage. So settle back into a rhythm and go try again maybe, as he doesn't have the greatest of runs coming out of turn 2 there, but I mean nothing really we can do here. You can try to do some moves around the S curves here, but probably would not recommend it unless you're really ballsy. Although maybe I did that last season in SRL, but not saying nothing. But anyway, continuing on, still trying to chase after R8, and obviously the battle groups I've mentioned, they're really starting to pull away now, so we really need to get a bit of a move on here and get past these guys as quickly as possible, but just trying to get a decent run out of here as we nearly lose the back end there. Matt goes a little bit wide, so that didn't really help my cause there, but anyway, further on into lap number 6, I think this is. There's Matt again putting pressure on R8 ahead. So he may try and get it done easy before turn 1. There's Cowboy off to the right-hand side there. I think he's had a bit of a moment. I can't remember whether it was through 130R or not, but again, the TRS not looking ideal. But obviously, it doesn't want to play ball with us here at Honda's home circuit here in Japan here. So now obviously trying to close in on our R8 ahead, but we'll get the update from Jeff.
DRS is offline. The rear wing is down, so you can stay out while we work on a fix.
Now obviously Matt's looks like he's well and truly cleared R8 at this point, so next goal here was to just try and get past R8 as quickly as possible so I don't lose time. Well, I probably will lose time behind R8 for now, but I mean, I don't really want to lose time to Matt ahead, who's obviously trying to close in on the next battle group is pretty much at the spoon curve here. We're going to try and go around the long way here into the spoon curve, just make it through. There's a little bit of contact there. That was fair racing, to be fair, to R8, so I'll give him that one. But anyway, trying to get a good run here through this back straight here and into 130R. We're not really in the ideal spot, to be honest. But again, you don't usually try and get 2 cars through here. But I mean, Matt and I did it, but R8
Brilliant.
obviously
Nice move.
has decided to sort of back out of it a little bit there, and now we move up into position 13. As you saw there, I think Calvo is now out of the Grand Prix and has left the session actually. So, but now we've cleared away from R8, and still the DRS is not fixed. And I was hoping I'd still stay ahead on the front straight here, which we've managed to do now. Now we're just going to see if we can try and catch up to Matt ahead is on to lap number 7 here, but we'll get an update.
Gap to car in front is 2.2 seconds. You're gaining by 1/10 a lap. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 6 laps old. The time last lap was a 1 minute 31.7.
So at the moment, no penalties for Matt and no penalties for me. Japan, yeah, it's a bit of up and down. It can sort of get quarter cut penalties, but it's sort of very rare, I think, around here anyway. But anyway, here's a replay from the start with V-Fens trying to get the jump on Alan Hugo. It was pretty even going down to turn 1, but it's not quite close enough. Just settles back into position 2 ahead of Alan Hugo and H.O. and New Zealand Ryan battling away through the S section. I think Ryan manages to hang on here, but Fens doesn't really need to do too much. He just needs to stay ahead of H.O. Or I think H.O. just to keep the championship alive. I think he needs to win the race, and hope Fens falls maybe about even 5th or something. Just to, well, it's a weird bit of scenarios anyway. So, but all Fens needs to do is just stay ahead of H.O. and he's got the championship wrapped up. But getting under attack from the Ferrari of New Zealand Ryan there, as they're putting the pressure on, is just starting to pull away from Alan Hugo. I think top banter. Replay from the start. It looks like he also got maybe a little bit of a lag start. I don't know what was going on there. Whether everybody had that or not, I don't know. But obviously myself, I felt like I had one, and so did obviously Top Banter. By the looks of things, getting a little bit sideways coming out of the corner there is Death Bro Berserk going side by side there, but no can do it. Top Banter managed to get a bit of a cheeky move going into through the S-curves there, but he can get the moves done as there's Chicane looking up the inside of Laggy, and obviously top BB trying to get past Death Bro, but not quite really close enough at this stage. Hitting a little bit close for comfort there. That would have been a little bit awkward between those two, with Toppy B and Death Bro there. But here's another replay from the back of the field from a teammate. Obviously, he got a little bit caught behind me from my little bit of a lag start. So sorry to the teammate for that one, but it's a little bit out of my hands here. But just sort of taking it a little bit cautiously. He's on the soft rubber. He's PlinioMonteiro, but there's not too many guys actually on the super soft rubber. I think Conrad, maybe Kaiwas, I'm not entirely sure, but I may be completely wrong there. But look at this battle here that was going on a bit further on ahead. I think that was between myself and Matt. There was a little bit of contact there between the teammate and Conrad by the looks of things, but managing to avoid all of that there, and somehow Conrad, I don't think, got any front wing damage. I don't believe anyway, but we'll be thankful for that one. This is on to lap 4 now. It's top banter. Got the DRS here going down to turn 1 on Death Bro, side by side. Not quite. I thought he was just about to pull it off, but just going runs it a little bit too deep into turns 1 and 2. So pretty much has to try and do it all again here on to lap 5. Nearly Master Berserk got past him there as well, but around the outside this time is Toppy B in the first couple of quarters, but these two are going side by side, still going side by side, but should have the inside line, and he does. So finally Toppy B gets by and in position 7. But back to my teammate who's closing in on Conrad, who's super soft rubber, would be really starting to feel the effects of the tyre wear, I would assume. But just looking down into turn 1 here, look at the speed going down to turn 1. That was obviously Calvo on the right-hand side there, but not quite close enough there.
Okay, clear.
Looked like he had pretty decent straight line speed there, did my teammate, but let's see if we can try maybe another move here up into the hairpin. This is probably one of the other spots you can get as he gets a little bit close for comfort there. If he gets the drive out of here, he might be able to do it. It just gets a little bit taily there and loses all that momentum to Conrad ahead. But back to these two battling away. Lap 7 as Death Bro trying to return the favour here going down to turn 1. Sort of backs out of it a little bit, but pushes top banter wide a little bit here. They're going to get side by side again, but I don't think Death Bro is quite close enough there, so settles back into position 8 for the time being. But,
gap to teammate behind is 6.3 seconds.
And yeah, probably a bad time for Jeff to say that one, because I think he's just actually spun through the S section there. So way to put the engineer curse on my teammate there from Jeff. Nice work there. But yeah, just trying to catch up to Matt as quickly as he can as they nearly lose the rear end there. That would have easily been curtains for myself there. But yeah, I don't know where the pace just seemed to drop off a little bit here. There's yellow flags ahead here. That's actually Master Berserk who's crashed out going through turn 3. I think it is through the S section there. So he's had maybe a moment there. I don't know whether he's with side by side with someone or got the curb. Easily grabbed the curb like I mentioned, but he's now left the session here. There's probably maybe a good thing that he actually left the session, because there's a few glitches around here in Japan where I think if you retire in the pit lane and your teammate pits at the same time, there's sort of like a glitch there where your teammate could easily get stuck in the pit lane for quite a while now. But this is the pit stop phase now arriving, so LCR fans is in. I think HO is in here, but you see the team are just not ready here at Sauber. I have an inkling why, maybe because I think Master Berserk's a ghost car is pretty much coming to the pit lane and maybe coming at the exact same time. So that's really not ideal for LCR fans, as he's actually dropped behind HO, who's now obviously got the jump on him in the pit stop. We obviously jumped both of them, who obviously come into the pit lane. So now up into position 10. But I mean, it's still a long race to go here. So HO's really now got to put the foot down here and try, and obviously, like I said, try and get the race win. If it were to say, let's just say like HO were to win the race and LCR fans finish as 4th, then the championship would still be LCR fences. But I mean, if LCR fans say finish 5th, then the championship would still be going into, well, nearly into Brazil, I think.
Go now.
It'd be very close actually, but might just get away with it. Might be P6, but Tough Banter and Death Bro and there was somebody else into the pit lane. Maybe there's a few others actually, but we'll see here in a second. We're setting personal best. Top Banter, Death Bro, VSR Chicane. Alan Hugo also came into the pits, but he's well and truly ahead of me at this stage. Looks like he's got the pace at the current moment there. So he's well and truly well ahead at this stage, but we're up in obviously position 7. So we're just still continuing on here. Like you saw there, we set a personal best lap time on a previous lap. So I mean, the tyres are feeling okay at this stage, but I don't know. Maybe has something to do with the setup. I don't know, otherwise, but just didn't feel quite right at this stage. As we're gonna not hold up HO here. It's not really in our fight here, to be honest. So just going to let him go there, and obviously he'll pull away here on much fresher medium tyres here. So I think I was running, what was it, 2.8 or 2.9 wings, but I think at the next stop I may drop the front wing to 1 just to have a little bit more straight line speed. I honestly thought you could get away with 2 front wing around here, but maybe I was completely wrong there. But anyway, just going to try and stick in the slips to the DRS stream, which actually thankfully the DRS has now been fixed, but a few more guys in the pits as Perez as Rain coming to the pit lane, but Fenn's setting the pace at the moment as he sets the fast lap of the race. So he's well and truly got a little bit of pace up his sleeve here. But,
just managed the gap to the car behind. We think he's got a time penalty.
That's sort of critical as well, because it may play a factor a little bit later on as now Alan Hugo sets the pace at the front here, but we're up in the position 6 obviously as Laggy's now coming to the pit lane, but just going to pull off to the side here really, and I mean probably I maybe could have stayed ahead of LCR Fens, but I mean I didn't really want to affect the only 2 remaining championship contenders really, so it may have just lost himself a little bit of time there, and maybe could have let Fens go to maybe a better place. So I think maybe something like where I let HO go there, but hey ho, it is what it is, and I've let him go. So anyway, this is a bit further back in the pack here, lap 13. Prez and Top Banter. As Top EB looks like he's going to try to move down into 130. Just managing to do it. It may have just pushed Prez a little bit wide there, maybe a little bit cheeky, but we'll get the move done and up into position 11. But don't think it'll last too long here, because Prez will try and come back here around the outside, going down into turn 1. And he might pull, if he pulls it up, Top Banter sticks it in there, just giving each other enough room there. But he might actually do it here. Nice job from Top EB. And manages to hang on to the position for the time being. But this is LCR Fans obviously trying to close in on Matt, who's pretty much, I think we're pretty much on the similar strategy-wise. We're closing. He's obviously on the medium size as well, trying to go as long as he dared, but up the inside of the spoon curve. H obviously got past him, I don't know how long ago it was, but our Fans is pretty much bleeding there. So obviously you can see the tyre wear, well, wasn't really too bad, like I mentioned earlier, but like I said, I probably am going to change the front wing at the pits. Well, not change the front wing like fully, but I mean change the downforce on the front wing to 1 for the next pit stop here anyway. But it's interesting to see when Matt was actually going to come in here. So because I think he's actually now come into the pit lane right now. So we're going to stick it out for maybe 1 more lap, and actually still setting personal best lap time. So it felt like pace wasn't really too bad here on the medium tyres here. As again through sector 1, this was pretty much the time I think to push here. Try and maybe go a bit of an overcut here. As we're going to come in at the end of this pit. At the end of this lap, I should say, but I was still considering the option of super soft tyres, but I think the softs are pretty much the way to go here. So just still pushing on here, trying to get to the pit lane and maybe try and go overcut Matt. It might be a long shot, but depends if we can get these tyres up to temperature very quickly here. But we're going to dive into the pit lane here, and hopefully after this one bring home a decent top 10 result here at Honda's home track here in Japan. But we'll obviously drop down the field as the guys that have already pitted will come in, but onto the soft tyres to change the downforce of the front wing, and away we go. So yeah, I wasn't sure what was going to be going to happen next really, with whether this downforce change would help or not. But you can see now Matt is well and truly, so the overcut really hasn't worked out at all there. But thankfully we do come out in a bit of fresh air there, because R8, I think he sort of fell away a little bit. It may have fallen away after we got past him onto the medium tyres, but now Matt sets the fastest lap for the time being. But this was pretty much time to push and maybe try and get the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. So we'll stick aboard here for a lap around Suzuka. nearly try to go flat through turns 1 and 2 here. But now trying to get a decent run out of the turn 2 there. Now through the S-curves here. It's pretty much a left-right section here. Don't really want to touch those curves around here, especially when you can easily auto spin, and obviously through turn 7 the Dunlop curve, the curve which I touched in qualifying, not the ideal way, but coming through sector 1 here.
Okay, gap ahead is 4.9 seconds.
Gap ahead, you saw that was 4.9, not quite 5 seconds, but we're do setting a green sector time there through sector 1 there, which is about a second quicker than our current laptop, which is, I think it's about a 31.04 or something or other, but you'll probably be able to see it in the top right of your screen there. But now through turns 12 and 13, to line up 13 and 14, the spoon curve here. Trying not to run too wide there. Feel like I got nailed this corner here, so and nailed the exit as well. But now on this long back straight here, and pretty much just going to size up 130 yard here as we actually go purple there through sector 2 with about 1.8 seconds, I think, quicker than the previous best. Well, our previous best, maybe even the quickest, we never know. But Matt comes across the line, sets a 26.8. But the rate we're going, we're going to easily beat that with a 26.6.
Great work. That's a new fastest lap for the race.
Not a 26.6, a 29.6, I should say. Where am I getting a 26 from? I mean, I'd love to see a 26 around Japan, but 3 seconds quicker. I must be off my rocker. But anyway, 29. I think I was supposed to say 29. We'll get an update.
Gap to car in front is 4.8 seconds. They're on old softs. Their tyres are 3 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:29.8. They have a time penalty of 3.0.
So I think that front wing change has definitely helped our cause as we get past the ghost car of Master Berserk, who pretty much left the session as well. But Matt has obviously got past his teammate Death Bro, so he's up into pretty much into the points now. So a little bit surprised maybe at the pace that he had for this race. But this is it. Here we go. This is going to be critical to lap 21. The 2 championship contenders going to battle it out here going down to turn 1. Ben stays ahead here. He may wrap up the championship and we'll easily get it done before Brazil, and he gets it easily before at turn 1 there. And HO doesn't really put up much of a fight there, but still trying to push on here as there's yellow flags ahead here. So I think some cars may have got a little bit of drama there. So we'll have to wait and see what's going on up here. But gets a yellow flag. So that's actually VSR Chicane, who's off the road there in his Red Bull, obviously filling in for RBR, who I don't think's during the rest of the season, mainly to do with his internet connection. Totally understand that one, but yeah, VS actually Chicane was actually doing a decent job. Actually, I think up about the mid pack, I think he was, but he's now left the session. So something has maybe gone on there with one of the mid-pack guys. I'm not sure exactly who, but there's more yellow flags ahead here. So there's tyre marks every which way, and there's rain going a little bit slowly there. So probably a little bit interested to see if it was actually rain that was the one that maybe got caught up with here in VSR Chicane. I think it was confirmed a little bit later on in the Twitter chat, but he's now obviously come into the pit lane, and he's now retired actually out of the session. So with those 2 spots, we're now going up into position 10. We're now into the points, so I mean not all too bad at this stage. But here's a replay actually. So I think this is already the VSR Chicane and rain. I think has already happened. But obviously rain is struggling back here to get back to the pit lane. Here's through 130R. Here's always a little bit of contact, and there I think that was from the other Red Bull of Prez, I think. But they looked like a bit of a touch there between Top Banter and Rain there. I think it was actually a lag touch, to be honest. So
our gap to the car in front is 2.9 seconds. 1.2 seconds advantage per lap. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 11 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:30.7. They have a time penalty of 3.0.
Now that's an added bonus there for me because I've got 0 penalties. Well, I think I've got 1 or 2 warnings at this stage, but we get past Cowboy's Ghost Car. But Death Bro has a time penalty up his sleeve there, so not looking too decent at all for the Williams man. But this is what's going on up here in front here, a bit further on lap 24s. Death Bro gets ahead actually of Top Banter there, and actually gets up into position 8, I think that is, in the race there. And actually, when I was thinking about this last bit. We'll get an update.
Okay, gap ahead is 3.4 seconds. We're gaining by about 9/10 a lap. Keep it up. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 12 laps old. The time lap was a 1:31.4. Gap to car in front is 2.3 seconds.
Now, I was wondering at that stage maybe whether that was maybe a little bit of a tactic there, but from those two, I'm not actually entirely sure. Maybe just making complete garbage up, really. But well, obviously with Top Banter with 0 penalties up, each leaving obviously Death Bro with 1. I thought that would be the case of that maybe what was going on there. But he's actually got another 5-second stop-go penalty. Now, you remember back at Belgium, I think it was, both Death Bro and Top Banter actually got 5-second stop-go penalties. Obviously, Toppy B got those removed. And as Kaiwas has now left the session, I think he was having some internet dramas there. Was Kaiwas, so not ideal for him. I think he was a bit further down the field. There's a little bit of contact there. That wasn't ideal, really, for fans there to maybe try for that move. But really, he doesn't need to do anything silly here. He's about to start the last lap here for these guys. Alan Hugo's got a massive gap ahead, so yeah, Fence really doesn't need to do anything silly here in these final laps. Like I mentioned, he just needs to stay ahead of H-Show. He's got, I think, a bit of a fair gap behind to H-Show, so just pretty much needs to stay in that position, and he'll have the championship wrapped up and finish before Brazil. But see a bit further on, as we'll have the onboard footage from Top Banter on the top right of screen for these last few laps. Actually, you saw that Death Bro actually didn't have the greatest of runs out of the hairpin there. But at this stage, I didn't actually know that Death Bro had the 5-second stop-go penalty, but I was just keeping sort of tabs with Top Banter because I felt like he was the guy I was going to race for the final few laps here. We've got an interesting battle here through 130R. These two are going to go side by side through there. And I think Toppy B's actually got the move done ahead of Death Bro. So that moves him up into position 8, but he has a terrible run through the chicane there. So I think Death Bro may be lining up a move here, and this was the ideal opportunity for me to maybe try and catch up to these two. To try and get a bit of the slipstream here from Death Bro, but not really quite close enough here. But we do have a little bit of the time advantage, albeit we may be starting to wear up the soft tyres a little bit more, but compared to the mediums. But you see here through the S curves, really starting to close in here on Top Banter through the S section. Just try to keep out of his dirty air there, so I don't understeer all over the shop here, considering with the one front wing as well. But as does have the greatest run through the Dunlop curve here as we go past the catch up to the ghost car actually of Kaiwas. So we see if we can try and get a decent run here. To be fair, Top Banter had a decent run actually at the second Degner curves there, but didn't quite get close enough here to the hairpin. But a little bit more closer now, as I think we'll get an update here.
The gap is less than a second. We're gaining by about 9/10 a lap. Keep it up. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 15 laps old. The timed lap was a 1:31.6.
So I have to get this move done just to try and get ahead of Top Banter. I tried going up the inside into Spoon Curve, but not quite close enough. I actually sort of backed out of it a little bit there because I felt like I touched him a little bit. But anyway, last opportunity is probably the Casio Triangle chicane as we try and get a decent run through 130R as well. We're going to try a bit of a crisscross here as we give it a little bit too close there. That wasn't probably ideal from my point of view. We get the front wing damage. We're going to finish up in position 10 on track, but actually we'll finish up in position 8 after penalties because I don't know where Top Banter got a penalty from, but obviously Death Bro's got the penalties, but yeah, I was a bit surprised so he actually finished up in P8, but hey ho, I'll take it. Sorry to Toppy B for that one. It was probably a little bit of a risky one, but I mean, I had to try it. It was the last lap anyway, so there's fans again trying to look up around the inside of New Zealand Ryan here. And like I said earlier, he doesn't really need to do much. It's a little bit on the power, a bit too much here, as don't think he was going to be a bit of weaving there from New Zealand Ryan. Whether he liked that one or not, I'm not sure. They've had their fair share of battles. Also, we know from last season, New Zealand Ryan and Greek had their fair share of issues along the way, and I think it's sort of carried on a little bit with Ryan and Fens. But anyway, they're going to come across the line here and we'll cross it in P2, but actually Fens will take P2. Actually, HO will take P2. And Fens will drop back into position 3. But it was all Alan Hugo that whole weekend, to be honest. He pretty much dominated in the SRL race, and he's also done it here in AOR. So he's got some decent pace around here in Japan. So nice job from Alan Hugo. and the other two, HO and Fens. But obviously, with those two, where they finished, obviously, HO, I think, had to win the race, but with Fens finishing third, that did mean he did wrap up the championship. We'll take a look at the championship standings a little bit later on, but there's the final results. So Alan Hugo ahead of HO and LCR Fens. New Zealand Ryan obviously got lost out there with that time penalties up his sleeve. They've dropped him back to fourth ahead of Laggy in fifth. Matt, actually, pretty decent job there. I think he's pretty much halved his grip position from 12th to 6th, but then he got Prez in 7th and myself in P8 with 0 penalties compared to Top Banter and Death Bro, who ran out the top 10. And he got R8 in 11th, and a teammate, I think that's his best result actually of the season, in 12th, albeit a lap down. But and you go back to the walking wounded at the back of the grid there. Obviously, the guys that left the session, they obviously finished a lap down, but won't really matter too much. But I usually put them down as whenever they disconnected first or anything. But anyway, there's the championship standing. So it ended up with a 33-point margin between Fens and HO. So championship's done now. So congratulations to Fens throughout the whole season. Been the dominant man all rounds. And I think HO is will wrap up second in the championship. I'm not entirely sure, but Alan Hugo with that win puts him back up into position 3. Probably highly unlikely it'll happen, but anyway, there's a bit further down the field. You can see New Zealand Ryan in 5th, and Matt actually gets back into the top 10 with that many points there. You saw that. We obviously dropped back to P11, so there's still a lot to play for actually in the final round. Next time out at Brazil, then you go all the way down to like Prez in 12th, I should say, ahead of R8 and 13th, RBR, Conrad there in 14th, and then obviously you got Kyle was there, and my teammate, and also Calbo yet to get onto the board here. So, a minute or second or two, we'll take a look at the Constructors' Championship, because that also was wrapped up actually by Ferrari. Had to actually do the maths for that one, but Ferrari do wrap it up by, about 40 or it might be 50 odd points. You'll be able to work that out with the maths on your screen anyway, but yeah, great job from the Ferrari boys all season long. I think Sauber may wrap up second in the championship, not entirely sure, but Mercedes actually jump ahead of Force India with that result, so great job around from HO. Haas is not too far behind Force India as well, so that'll be a battle that goes on to Brazil. But what else we got? Williams there in 6th. Red Bull jumped back into 7th ahead of Toro Rosso, and obviously Renault and McLaren still on their points from the earliest part in the season. So anyway, there's a lot to play for. Still a top 10 in the position in the Drivers' Championship, and maybe a decent result as well in the Constructors as well. It's still up for grabs. So hopefully you'll tune in for that one. But if you did enjoy this video, be sure to give it a big smash on that like button. As always, you can leave your comments down below. Subscribe to my channel for plenty more AOR Oceania content on F1 2018, plus plenty more video gaming content as well. As always, all my social media links will be down in the description. Plus, you can check out the links for the AOR website and the YouTube and probably their Twitter account as well. But yeah, there's pretty much the championships are all done. But and pretty much it'll be the last round for the final race on the F1 2018 game. So yeah, until the finale at the Brazilian Grand Prix, it is goodbye, and I'll see you all next time.